Hi everybody, welcome to my new channel. This is Damari here, doing the Shadow Work Tarot reading for mid-August to late August 2019 for Virgo. So now what I'm going to do to begin with is I'm going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. And these are particularly great for doing the shadow work because what it does is that it helps you to identify the darker aspects that are going on and lying just beneath the surface. So, all of those negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviours, that's kind of been brewing or that are starting to manifest. This really deals with those aspects and helps you identify it so you can really process those things, heal, and then move forward. So it's great for doing this kind of work, which is why I like to begin with this oracle pack. So I'm just going to try and pull a couple of cards for you first. So what is it that our Virgos are contending with for mid to late August 2019? What is it their shadow aspects are revealing? What's going on with Virgos right now? It's late August 2019. What are they contending with? What is the shadow aspects revealing? Okay, so the first one's fated to suffer. Interesting. And let's see what else we get for you. I always pull at least 2 to 3 cards, as we always have more than one thing going on at any one time. So it gives us a clearer picture of what's going on and what it is that we're contending with, that we're kind of, keeping hidden under the surface. Addicted again. Okay, this came up in just a previous reading actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read from the Dark Mirror booklet so you have a clear idea of the background behind these cards and what they represent, and then I'll discuss how that applies in a practical sense. So let's have a look at Fated to Suffer to begin with. Okay, so going dark. Once upon a time, we believed in fairy tales. They were the voice of common sense, the educational tool which prepared us to duty, danger, and morals. Some things we would never accept if we were told by a single voice. So the world arranges us to hear them with 1,000 voices, 1,000,000 voices. It's about what you can do, and what what you can't do. What are you worth? What can you aspire to? It's about what you like and what you want, what you hold dear. It creates a script which becomes as strong as all the voices that believe that script combined. So much that you cannot see another path. Are you truly seeing Snow White in the card? Is this story truly the only one that this image can tell? What if the apple is not poisoned? What if the witch is not evil? Is that the same as what you look in your life? Is that truly what you think it is? Are there not any other options? Is this the opinion of others honestly better than ours? If there are many and we are only one, are you fated to suffer? It is not that there is no suffering in the world. The point is that there is no fate. Okay, so that's really heavy, isn't it? Very philosophical, sorry. Can't even speak anymore, you have to excuse me. I think it's getting kind of late in the day. But so what that's essentially saying is that you may be feeling like that the universe has turned against you, or it hasn't been working in your favour, that the odds have been stacked up against you, and there's no way out, that this is just your lot in life, you know, that you're constantly being put in these negative scenarios, or you keep finding yourself in these patterns, and you feel like, you know, this is my lot in life, I have to just get on and bear it. But that's not the case. I think what it's saying here is that your perception may be clouded, that you may not be perceiving it from the right lens, that maybe those misfortunes that have, you know, befallen you aren't misfortunes at all. What if they're preparing you for something more? What if there's something better on the horizon? But the only way to achieve them is to go through these lessons, to gain the awareness and understanding, to fully appreciate them, right? So it may be that you have to, you know, change your perception in it rather than expecting everything else to change, to really get an accurate idea of what is happening in your life. So the next thing you have is the Addicted card, which is in an interesting combination with this one. So I'll just read that first and then I'll discuss it and how it relates. So, going dark, addiction to something, to drugs, to love, to company, to evil, to pain, to safety, to making simple everything that can be deep. They have in common the feeling of being lost if we are ever without it. Freedom is not a friend, as it promises responsibility, failure, challenges. Freedom can be taken, can be broken, can be stripped naked and whipped and abused. Slavery is a much cleaner choice. If you give it all away at the beginning, how can they take it from you? So how can it be that it is so easy to believe that freedom is an illusion, and it's so hard to feel that slavery is an illusion as well? That the sky has a limit, but the chains have one as well. The irony of it all, when we lose the desire, much before losing the will to fight, is that it actually is possible to reach for the sky even when bound in chains. Now, the other thing that's worth noting as well is that, as you can see on each side of the cards, they have a phase of the moon present, okay? And those phases correlate to the energies of the card, which also correlates to the different stages of grieving. So you have 5 different stages, right? And each one of those is associated with a specific phase of the moon. So it's coming to terms with certain things, certain aspects being brought to light, the journey through that transition from grieving to knowing and accepting and healing, okay? So just so you know what that is. So yeah, in relation to the Addicted card, I feel like that some of your misfortune may have been caused by your own inaction. It may be caused by your own feelings of worthlessness, or because you're so afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone that it's easier to just accept things that are happening to you rather than take action, right? So I feel like in this instance it's a case of the Addicted card represents your unwillingness to stand against certain misfortunes, because it's easier to just accept defeat from the beginning than to stand your ground, refuse to accept things as they are, and really go after what the kind of circumstances you do actually want. I feel like that's what it's more in relation to for you, in particular Virgo, with this reading, that your perception is partially what led you to being in this circumstance, right? That your inability to act and your unwillingness to go after what you actually want is what led you to having these unpleasantries, okay? So that's what I feel like that represents here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull from the Wild Unknown tarot deck to get more insight as to what these represent and how it applies to your current circumstances, and what can really be done to remedy that feeling and, you know, this what's the word I'm looking for? I would say this indecisive energy that you have, but also your unwillingness to move forward. I feel like there's a bit of fear of the unknown in here. You know, it's a risk. You're afraid to take this risk. You see how, like, she's kind of going for the apple, but kind of still questioning whether or not she should. We assume, because of the stories we've been told, because of the things we grow up with, that this woman is holding a poisoned apple, but as the booklet says, that may not necessarily be the case at all. It could be offering her good fortune, it could be the thing that changes her entire life, and yet she'll never know if she doesn't take the plunge, right? So I feel like that's what that really embodies, you know, that hesitancy to move forward and just choosing continuously to accept just the circumstances that are befalling you. And what you're not seeing is that, you know, by doing that, that's what creates the circumstances to begin with. Okay? So I'm just going to pull some cards from you for mid to late August, so you can really get a sense of what the message is here in relation to this. Because it's already quite clear what is being communicated, but I just want to see exactly how that applies, what you can expect to see arise over the next few weeks, next 2 to 3 weeks. And yeah, what you can do to remedy that also. So I'll just get the last cards for the final week of August. So the last 2 cards now for Virgo. What's the last message for Virgo for the end of August 2018 in regards to the shadow aspects that they're contending with right now? Wow, okay. Okay, let's address this then, shall we? So, to begin with, for this week, this con deals with the current week that we're in, just to explain. So we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So yeah, again, I feel like your misfortune comes from your own perception, because you feel like you're such an unlucky person and that good things never come your way. You manifest that. A lot of the time, you're the one actually manifesting those negative circumstances because of your perception of yourself and your life. So that's something you really need to be aware of. You need to be very mindful of your thoughts and the things that you tell yourself. You know, like, it's like the reverse of affirmations. You're telling yourself all these negative things. So, you know, when you look at the laws of attraction, that's what you're bringing towards you, negative energies, negative circumstances. You know, you're polarizing towards negative, negativity in general. So, you know, you need to be very mindful of that, and you need to come to realize that, yeah, that you're the one actually manifesting a lot of these things into your life by your thoughts. You know, and the way you communicate to others about your life as well, not just with yourself, but also how you discuss your life and your opinions of yourself with others. It's really important that you watch your words and your thoughts if you want this to change. So next we have temperance upside down, so in reverse, right? You see that? So temperance in reverse. And yeah, again, like, you just kind of been expecting all these good things to come and you're sick of waiting, but at the same time you're the one that's kind of not really manifested the things that you do want, because you're constantly telling yourself all these negative things. And it's like, how do you expect positive things to come into your life when it's having to contend with this wall of negativity that you've built around yourself? You know, and that you've been kind of just sat there and waiting for it to just come down by itself. It's not going to happen that way. You have to do the work. You know, if you want that to change, you have to change how you interact with the universe, how you interact with other people and yourself. So you have to come away from this very negative thought process that you have and stop reaffirming negative things in your life, because you're just going to get more of the same. That's what that's telling you there. So coming into the latter part of this week, you have the Death card in the upright. So yeah, I think you're going to have this realization, maybe from hearing this, or maybe some circumstance will make you come to realize that. And you'll realize that you can't, that this is not serving you, you know, and that you really begin to make changes, you know, or there'll be a certain circumstance that forces you to change how you view things. You know, maybe someone will bring some information to you and say, look, this is what you're doing. You've caused this circumstance and you need to change, because if you don't change, you know, you're always going to be miserable. And it may even be that someone comes to you and say, look, I'm really struggling to be around you right now because you're just so negative. You're being really negative, or like, you're being careless with your words and your thoughts, and you know, you're just allowing your emotions to run high, but you're not seeing that you're actually largely the cause of this. You know, so there may be that this transformation comes from communication from someone close to you, or it might be a set of circumstances that forces you to readdress that. Okay, particularly in the weekend of this week. Okay, so let's look into next week. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you want all this abundance to come in, and it is on the menu if you address these issues, okay? You have to be aware that you're the one that's blocking this abundance from coming through. And it can happen, and it will, but you have to do the work. You can't expect it to happen immediately, right? You need to stop sitting on the fence and waiting for it to happen. But when you're doing the work, you have to give it time to happen, okay? So that's what that's addressing. Like, abundance is available to you, but it's going to take a bit of time, and you have to do the work first to really see it come to life. So next you have the Eight of Pentacles in the upright. So again, patience is a virtue, but, you know, if you're not careful, you can easily get trapped into old habits, old ways of thinking, because you're just wanting to see the outcome too quickly. You need to know when to, you know, put your foot on the gas and when to put it on the brake, essentially. That's what I feel like is being communicated in this section. Like, you need to know when to stop, when to start, and in what regards to what aspects. Because yeah, it's going to take time. Nothing's done overnight. And even just, you know, rewiring how you think, you know, and the kind of things that you tell yourself and the thought process, that takes time. That takes significant time. That's not an overnight job, I can tell you, you know. So you're going to have to exercise a bit of patience with yourself also, but you have to just do the work. Hi everyone, sorry about that. Battery died, I had to swap it out and recharge it for a bit. So let's carry on from where we left off. So yeah, moving on, we've got the Mother of Pentacles. And I feel like this energy is kind of really what you want to embody. but it means, changing your outlook in order to embody that, to really nurture the kind of positivity you want into your life. And I feel like you have to be very careful, because it could be that you have children, or you're going to have children, or you have younger siblings that are impacted by your energy, your thought processes, and how that manifests in your family life and the dynamics between you. So it's really important that you kind of do this work and you're aware of how that could be affecting those closest to you, particularly if you're a parent or you have younger siblings, because they're going to start mirroring the same behaviours, and they're going to adopt similar attitudes towards life, and you really don't want that. So it's important that you do this work now before they're too impacted by it, because I feel like they are probably quite young, or they're either very young, haven't been born yet, or about to be born into the family, or they're still not been fully impacted by this energy yet, but it will do if you don't address it. So you kind of have to really nurture and cultivate this positive thinking and way of seeing things, so that you don't negatively impact those younger people around you. So this is for next week, this column here, okay? So we'll move on into the final week of August, and you have the 5 of Pentacles, and that's really dealing with the fact that you're feeling optimistic. You really wanted to give this a try, but you're not sure you can do it. You don't think you can. You feel like there's too many obstacles stacked against you, and why even try at this point? Because I did try, things didn't work out. But again, I feel like this is because you're expecting miracles, which is nothing wrong with that, but you have to consistently put in the work, and you can't expect it to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to remain focused and keep doing the work. Take each day as it comes. I think you want it too quickly. You're expecting to be transformed overnight. You're expecting to see these changes in your life overnight. It doesn't work like that. Okay, and that's why you're kind of feeling kind of sad, and you feel like, well, I even tried and it didn't work. It's like, well, you've only just started. It's like, it's not going to happen that quickly. You have to keep going, right? You will see the positive outcome from it, but you have to keep going. So next you have the 8 of Cups. So I feel like you're giving up again. There's this urge to just give up. But if you do that, then again, you're just going to be locked into this cycle forever. Okay? And is that really how you want your life to be? Is that what you want your legacy to be? That, you saw one hint of a struggle and you gave up? You didn't even fully go all the way. So, I think that while it's tempting to just give up, that's not what you need to do. You need to persevere, because that's what's going to give you that realization that you have the strength to change your circumstances, that you don't have to accept what just lands in your lap, right? But unless you do stick with it and really do the inner work, you may have to do some reading, you may have to do some meditating. I think you will do. Definitely some reading as well. There's probably some self-help books, or some particular author that has some really insightful information to help you address this. You're going to do some research and you're going to find your own way of approaching it, but if you don't stick with that and you just feel like giving up, then it will all be for naught. All the work that you started to do won't mean anything. You won't see anything from it. You'll just come back to this again. So you need to stick with it, even if it gets tough, if the going gets tough. You just got to stick with it. And then finally, to conclude August, you have the Daughter of Wands. So that's the Page of Wands in reverse. So yeah, I mean, you are literally on the cusp of starting a new chapter where you can begin to actually manifest the things that you want in your life rather than just allowing life to happen to you. You can be an active participant in your life. But more than that, you are the creator of your life, right? But at the moment, you're just kind of not even an active participant, you're just passive in it all, and you're just allowing things to happen around you and to you. Okay? So that's why it's really important to address this now, because otherwise there is going to be no change in circumstance. And you might find that certain family members will become estranged from you, because of that, because they just don't want this energy in their field. You know, they don't want to adopt this family karma. Okay, especially if you're about to be a mum or if you've got siblings, they will really not want this. So you might find that one day they'll distance themselves from you in order to protect their own energy. So it's really important that you do this work now before it gets to that point. Otherwise, there may be other issues that come as a result, some underlying resentment, little to no respect for the way you conduct yourself and your life, etc. So it's important to be aware of that it can affect the family dynamic quite a lot if you don't do the work here. So that's your overall reading for August. I'm just going to pull your overall energies in relation to this. What is the overall energy of these cards for the reading of mid to late August 2019 for Virgo? Sorry if I seem a bit, what can I say, tired. I haven't been sleeping so well last night, and I've done a few readings today and yesterday, and the last one I did was quite draining. It was very, very intense energy. So I tried to ground myself as much as possible before doing this one, but there's always going to be a knock-on effect, right? So sorry if I don't seem as energetic as I do in the other ones. I am trying my best. So here you've got the High Priestess in reverse. And again, this is clarifying what we were just talking about. Like, this is literally what you need to embody. Like, you need to realize that you are the creator of your reality. You know, you dictate your destiny. Okay, that's important to know. You dictate your destiny. So depending on what you do here and here, right, there's going to be very different outcomes. You know, do you take the apple or do you not? You know, do you take the risk or do you stay where you've always been? Okay, and that's what the High Priestess in reverse is really showing, that you know, you have the potential to have an incredible life, but you're not seeing how much influence and say you actually have over your circumstances. You're just allowing life to happen to you. And that cannot continue if you wish to see a change, if you don't want to stay stuck in a rut, you know. So you really need to start embodying the energy you want to attract. You really need to start embodying the kind of people that you want to be around, because it may be that you've kind of been around people that feed into this loop as well and make the situation worse. But you will not attract the right type of people into your life if you're still, you know, if you're still in this thought process, if you're still behaving in these ways, because no one wants to be around, like, no one ultra positive wants to be around someone who's just negative all the time. Right? And I know I'm speaking from experience. Like, I used to be very, very negative a lot of the time, and I found that as a result, a lot of the connections I had was very toxic. Okay? And I'm not Virgo, but that's universal, regardless of your sign or what's going on. You know, you attract what you give out. So it's really important that you start addressing this now before it has some, negative consequences in your household, in your family life. Because I feel like that's where it's going to impact the most in your family life. So it's important that you do the work now, and then you're able to create a very warm, loving, stable, positive foundation for your family. Okay, because I feel like it's a new family, it's a young family, so you want to set the foundations in a positive manner now. And now is a really good time to do that. You can do that. You just have to be prepared to do the work and know that it's going to take time. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. I know that's going to resonate with some of you more than others, but the main giveaway, the main thing to take away, from this is that you are shaping your reality every day by your thoughts, your behaviours, your perceptions, the words you speak, the energies you associate with, the people you interact with, you choose to spend time with. All of that is feeding back into what shapes your reality. So it's really important that you carefully consider each of those aspects if you wish to move things in a more positive light. Okay, Virgos, well, I will speak to you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I would appreciate any feedback you get, as long as it's not too harsh a criticism, if any. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a lot more readings for you very soon. Take care.